Good morning, students. Good morning. Today we have lecture number 10 on fluids. Lecture number 10 on fluids. In the previous lecture, we have studied about the surface tension. In the previous lecture, we have started about the surface tension and then we have studied some applications, examples of surface tension, what is surface tension, all those things. Then we have studied molecular theory of surface tension, molecular theory of surface tension. Okay, so now next concept, surface energy. Next concept in the surface tension only, this will comes in the surface tension only, surface energy. Okay, first in the previous class we have studied that, in the previous class we have studied that the liquid in a container, the molecules, all the molecules which are present in the surface, at the topmost surface, that is P, Q, R, S, like this we have written. So all the molecules which are present in this P, Q, R, S will experience a net downward force, will experience a net downward force, that is there will be a downward force acting on them, so the potential energy will be more. The potential energy of all the molecules lying on the surface PQRS. In the previous class we have told about this. Okay, if you have forgotten, once again see that in the previous class only molecular theory of surface tension, then come to this one, then it will be better. So in the previous class we have told that is the molecules present in the surface PQRS will have more potential energy compared to the molecules which are within the liquid surface, which are here. So compared to the molecules which are within the liquid surface. So now to move a molecule from the liquid from the interior of the liquid to the top surface, to move a molecule from the interior of the liquid to the top surface, that is to the surface PQRS, then work has to be done. Work has to be done against the intermolecular force of attraction. Against the intermolecular force of attraction, and this work done is stored as the potential energy in that molecule when it is reaches the surface PQRS. So in the surface PQRS the molecule will have more potential energy. So now the potential energy per unit area of the surface, the potential energy of surface molecule per unit area of the surface, the potential energy of surface molecules per unit area of the surface is called as surface energy. The potential energy of surface molecules, the potential energy of surface molecules per unit area of the surface, the potential energy of surface molecules per unit area of the surface is called as surface energy. That is surface energy is equal to potential energy of surface molecules, potential energy of surface molecules per unit surface area, per unit surface area. Okay, so now let us find the formula for this surface energy. So let us find the formula for this surface energy. So now let us consider a frame, rectangular frame PQRS. Let us consider a rectangular frame PQRS. On this rectangular frame, the one end, that is the side LM, I will say this as side LM. This is side LM. This side LM is movable. The side LM is movable. On the sides RS side QP. Let us consider a rectangular frame, very thin rectangular frame PQRS. Let us consider a very thin rectangular frame PQRS. On this rectangular frame, the side LM is movable. So it is also a thin wire and it is movable. The side LM is movable. And now when this rectangular frame is immersed in soap solution, when this rectangular frame is immersed in soap solution, a surface, a liquid surface is formed due to the surface tension of the liquid. A liquid surface is formed. You know about this one. When you are at small kids will use this one. Okay. So a liquid surface is formed, and this liquid surface will have tendency to move this side Lm towards the interior, that is into the, because due to the property of the surface tension, the liquid surface formed, this liquid surface formed will have a tendency to occupy minimum surface area, and the side RL and QM and RQ are not movable. The sides RL, RQ, QM are not movable, whereas the side LM is movable. Hence, the side LM is pulled in by the surface tension. That is, a force acts on the side LM of length L, so that the side LM is moved inward, and the force acting on that side is given by F is equal to T into 2L, where T is the surface tension of the liquid. and L is the length of this side LM, and this 2L is written. Why this 2 is written? We are written it 2L because there are two surfaces for this liquid, there are two surfaces for this film. One surface is this side, another surface is that side. So therefore we have to write it as 2L. If there is only one surface, we have to write only one time L. So if there are two surfaces, so therefore the force acting on this side LM is F is equal to T into 2L, and this force is acting due to the surface tension. And due to this force, the side LM is moved interior. And now we want to move the side LM, or we want to keep the side LM static. Then a force F, a equal and opposite force F must be applied in the opposite direction. A same amount of force must be applied in the opposite direction. Then the side LM will remain static. Or let us consider that the side LM is moved through a distance x. The side LM is moved through a distance x without any velocity, without any acceleration. That is, to a new position L dash M dash. The side LM on which we have to apply an external force F, that is equivalent to the force exerted by the surface tension, then the side LM will remain static. And now the side LM is moved through a small distance x, without velocity, so that without acceleration, that means without changing the temperature. Then the work done in increasing the surface area, that is nothing but the moving the side LM to the new position L dash M dash is nothing but we are increasing the surface area of the film. So the work done in increasing the surface area of the film is given by work done is equal to force into that distance moved. Distance moved is x. So therefore you can write force F is T into 2L into x. And since 2L into x is nothing but this surface area. 2L into x is nothing but this surface area, and it is nothing but the increase in the surface area or change in the surface area. Increase in a surface area. So that 2Lx is the increase in the surface area. So therefore we can write work done is equal to surface tension into increase in a surface area of film. Increase in a surface area of a film. Increase in surface area of film. So this is one of the formula. And this work done is stored as the potential energy of the liquid surface. This work done is stored as the potential energy of the liquid surface. Further you can tell that this work done is stored as the potential energy. So this work done is equal to the potential energy of molecules in the liquid surface, potential energy of of surface molecules, you can tell. So potential energy of a liquid surface. So therefore surface energy is equal to potential energy divided by unit surface area. Potential energy divided by surface area. Potential energy divided by surface area. So it is, so potential energy is equal to the work done divided by surface area is 2Lx. Surface area is 2Lx, and the work done is, that is W is got to be, the W is got to be T into 2Lx. T into 2Lx divided by 2Lx, and now 2Lx cancel. So surface energy is numerically equal to the surface tension. So surface energy is numerically equal to the surface tension, or surface tension is numerically equal to the surface energy. Understood the concept? So here concept is that to increase the surface area of a liquid, work has to be done, and work done is given by surface tension into increase in the surface area of the film, or increase in the surface area of the liquid, and this work done is stored as the potential energy. So surface energy is equal to potential energy of the surface molecule per unit surface area. That is called as surface energy, or another definition is there. So surface energy can also be defined as work done to increase the surface, by unit amount, work done to increase the surface of liquid film, work done to increase the surface of the film by unit amount without changing the temperature. Work done in increasing the surface of the liquid film by unit amount without changing the temperature. That work done is also called as surface energy. Understood? Okay. So this is about surface energy. Understood? Okay. So now next concept we have to understand, that is what is the SI unit of surface energy? The SI unit of surface energy is joule per meter square. The SI unit of surface energy is joule per meter square, and the CJ unit of surface energy is dyne per centimeter square. And it is a scalar quantity. And also you can find the dimension. You can also write the dimension. So dimension can be done as mt raised to minus 2. That will be the dimension. Okay. So these all are the concept related to surface energy. Okay. So now we got a important formula. This formula is important. Work done is equal to surface tension into increase in the surface area of film. Okay. So now next concept, work done in blowing a liquid drop or soap bubble. Let us find what is the work done in blowing a liquid drop. Work done in blowing a liquid drop. A work done in blowing a liquid drop. Just directly I will write by using that formula. A liquid drop is there. Liquid drop means inside, in the interior of the drop, that is spherical liquid drop. So inside the drop, what will be there? It will be a liquid. Inside the drop it will be a liquid. So it will be a liquid, outside it will be air medium. Okay. So now work done in blowing a liquid drop. So that is, this is the initial size of the liquid drop, and now we want to increase the size of the liquid drop to another one. That is, let us say small r as the initial radius and capital R as the final radius. Let capital R and small r be the final radius and initial radius of the liquid drop. Let capital R and small r be the final radius and initial radius of the liquid drop. Then then work done in blowing the liquid drop is given by work done is equal to surface tension. Let T be the surface tension of that liquid. Let T be the surface tension of that liquid into increase in surface area. That is increase in surface area delta A. So increase in surface area can be done as final surface area minus initial surface area. Final surface area minus initial surface area. And final surface area is given by 4 pi r square minus initial surface area is given by 4 pi r square. Because final radius is capital R and initial radius is small r. So final radius, final surface area minus initial surface area. So surface area of the sphere 4 pi r square minus 4 pi r square. So now 4 pi taken common, T into 4 pi into r square minus small r square. So this is the formula for work done in blowing the liquid surface. Work done in blowing the liquid drop. Work done in blowing the liquid drop. Work done to increase the surface area of the liquid drop without changing its temperature. Work done in increasing the surface area of the liquid drop without changing the temperature. That is work done in blowing the liquid drop. Understood? Okay. So now this is for a liquid drop. Now let us find the work done in blowing a soap bubble. Work done in blowing a soap bubble. See here, these two are important for CET as well. Work done in blowing a soap bubble. Soap bubble. You know soap bubble? While washing clothes, the bubble will come. So many bubble will come. That's a soap bubble. How the soap bubble will be? Spherical in shape. Inside the soap bubble, what will be there? Soap? No soap. So it will be only air medium. Inside the soap bubble it will be air medium and outside also soap. So outside also air medium. So air medium, here also air medium and here also air medium. And this is the film, soap film. Understood? So here a liquid drop. In the case of liquid drop, inside it will be complete liquid. So this is the only surface. So how many surfaces are there in the liquid drop? Only one surface is there in the liquid drop. Whereas in the soap bubble, there are two surfaces. There are two surfaces. So now the let capital R be the, let capital R be the final radius of the soap bubble and small r be the initial radius of the soap bubble. Let capital R and small r are the final radius and initial radius of the soap bubble. Then work done in blowing the soap bubble. Work done in blowing the soap bubble is given by work done is equal to surface tension into increase in surface area. Increase in surface area delta A. That is W is equal to T into increase in surface area, final surface area minus initial surface area. So it is 2 into, so that is 4 pi r square minus 4 pi r square. So therefore we get W is equal to T into 2 in 4 pi taken common, that is 2 into 4 pi into r square minus small r square, and this is the formula. So that is W is equal to T into 8 pi r square minus r square. So this is the work done in blowing the soap bubble. Why the factor 2 is here? Why we have multiplied with the 2? Because the soap bubble has two surfaces. Because the soap bubble has two surfaces, hence we have multiplied it with 2. Whereas liquid drop has only one surface. Liquid drop has only one surface, hence we have multiplied with 1. Understood? So that is only one surface. But here in the case of soap bubble, it is two surfaces. Like just now we have did. For the rectangular frame PQRS, it has two surfaces, so therefore multiplied by 2L, like that. So that is, this is the work done in blowing a soap bubble. Understood? So without changing the temperature, So W is equal to T into 8 pi r square minus small r square. What is capital T? Capital T is the surface tension of the soap, liquid soap. And this R is the final radius and small r is the initial radius of the soap bubble. And here it is for liquid drop. Understood? Hope you understood this concept. Now let us study the next concept. Excess of pressure or excess pressure. excess pressure. When the free surface of liquid, when the free surface of liquid is curved, when the free surface of liquid is curved, there is a difference of pressure between the liquid side of the surface and vapor side of the surface. Here, when the free surface of liquid is curved, when the free surface of the liquid is curved, there is a difference of pressure between the liquid side and vapor side of the surface, and this difference of pressure is called as excess of pressure. This difference of pressure is called as excess of pressure. So now, excess of pressure for a plane surface. If the liquid surface is plane, if the liquid surface is plane, consider a liquid, so whose uppermost layer, that is topmost layer, is plane surface. Then a molecule, a liquid molecule A is equally attracted on the surface, by all the molecules on the surface. So hence the net force acting on the molecule due to the surface tension is 0. The net force acting on the molecule only due to the surface tension, I am talking about net force acting on the molecule due to the surface tension, will be 0. Hence the pressure on the liquid side of the surface will be same as the pressure on the vapor side of the surface. That is, pressure at the liquid side of the surface will be same as pressure on the vapor side of the surface. So excess of pressure, it is difference of pressure will be 0. Difference of pressure will be 0 if the surface is plane surface. So now let us consider second case. If the liquid surface is convex, if the liquid surface is convex like this. So here there is a liquid. So these all are the liquids, okay, and the free surface of the liquid is convex like this. The free surface of the liquid is convex. Then a molecule A will experiences a net force. A molecule A, that is a tangent drawn to this surface, will give you the surface tension. A tangent drawn to this surface will give you the surface tension, that is and here also one more surface tension. So the net force acts on the molecule A in the downward direction. A net force acts on the molecule A in the downward direction. Hence, for the surface to be in equilibrium, for this surface to be in equilibrium, the pressure on the liquid side of the surface, the pressure on the liquid side of the surface must be greater than the pressure on the vapor side of the surface. Here, when the free surface of the liquid is convex, when the free surface of the liquid is convex, a molecule A on the convex surface of the liquid, a molecule A on the convex surface of the liquid will experience a net force in the downward direction, that is towards the liquid side. Hence, for the surface to be in equilibrium, the pressure on the liquid side of the surface, must be greater than the pressure on the vapor side of the surface. So there exists a excess pressure, and excess pressure in this case is given by 2T divided by R, where R is the radius of that concave surface, convex surface. Understood? Okay. Now if the free surface of the liquid is concave, like this, if the free surface of the liquid is concave, so here it is liquid. So it is liquid, it is filled with liquid, whereas the free surface of the liquid is concave. So this is a glass tube. You consider this as a glass tube. So in this glass tube, the free surface is plane, and here free surface is convex, and here free surface is concave. Understood? Okay. So now a molecule is there at the point A. So now this molecule will experience a net force, in the upward direction due to the surface tension, due to the surface tension. Here also surface tension will exist, that is if it draw a tangent to that surface, you will get the direction of the surface tension. So this is the surface tension. So now the net force acts on this molecule towards the vapor surface, towards the vapor side, that is a net force acts on the molecule towards the vapor side. Hence the pressure on the vapors, hence for the surface to be in equilibrium, hence for this concave surface to be in equilibrium, the pressure on the vapor side must be greater than the pressure on the liquid side. The pressure on the vapor side must be greater than the pressure on the liquid side. Hence there exists a excess of pressure. There exists a excess of pressure, and that excess of pressure is also given by the formula 2T divided by R, where T is surface tension. T is surface tension and R is radius of this convex surface, radius of the convex surface, and here also R is radius of the concave surface, here radius of the convex surface, and T is surface tension. Understood? Got the idea? So this is concept of excess pressure. So excess pressure will come into picture only when the free surface of the liquid is curved. When the free surface of the liquid is curved, then there exists a difference of pressure between the liquid side and vapor side. There exists a difference of pressure between the liquid side and vapor side, and this difference of pressure we call it as excess pressure. Understood? So from all these three diagrams we understood that the excess pressure for the curved surface is always towards the concave, This is convex and this is concave. Excess pressure is towards concave, and here also excess pressure is towards concave. Understood? So these all are some CET points, so that you have to remember along with the theory parts. Understood? Okay. So now let us derive excess of pressure for a liquid drop. I will derive only for liquid drop, and you have to do on your own for the soap bubble. Okay. So excess of pressure. Derivation of excess of pressure for a liquid drop. I am doing a excess of pressure for a liquid drop. So consider a liquid drop. Liquid drop means the drop will be spherical in shape, and inside this will be completely filled up liquid. It will be completely filled up liquid. Consider a liquid drop of radius R. Consider liquid drop of radius R. Then the radius of the liquid drop is increased by a small amount dr. Let us take the radius of the drop, that is the surface of the liquid drop is increased, that is radius of the drop is increased by a small amount dr, so that the final radius of drop, liquid drop, is R plus dr, and initial radius of drop is equal to capital R, and let T be the surface tension of the liquid. Once again I will explain. I am deriving an expression for excess of pressure for a liquid drop. See it carefully, and after seeing this you only have to do for the soap bubble. You have to derive the formula for excess of pressure for a soap bubble. Understood? After watching this one. Okay. So now consider a liquid drop. Of initial radius capital R, and having a liquid of surface tension T. Let the radius of the drop be increased by a small value dr. Then initial radius of the drop is capital R, and final radius of the drop is R plus dr. So therefore initial surface area of liquid drop is equal to that is 4 pi r square, because initial radius is capital R, so initial surface area of the liquid drop will be 4 pi r square. Understood? Now final surface area. Similarly, final surface area of liquid drop final surface area of liquid drop is equal to, that is 4 pi final radius, that is r plus dr whole square, r plus dr whole square. Final surface area of liquid drop, this is initial surface area of liquid drop is 4 pi r square, final surface area of liquid drop is 4 pi r plus dr square. So it is 4 pi a plus b whole square, a plus b whole square, that is a square plus 2ab plus b square. So now open the bracket, so you will get 4 pi r square plus 8 pi r dr, 8 pi r dr, and dr square is neglected. Dr square is neglected because dr is very small value. Dr is very small value, so dr square is neglected. So now, therefore, the work done in increasing the surface area of the liquid drop, the work done in increasing the surface area of the liquid drop is given by work done is equal to surface tension into change in area. Okay, first we find increase in surface area. So therefore, increase in surface area is increase in surface area of liquid drop, increase in surface area of liquid drop, that is nothing but delta A. Increase in surface area of liquid drop is delta A, that is equal to final surface area minus initial surface area. Final surface area of the liquid drop minus initial surface area of the liquid drop, and final surface area of the liquid drop is, here I will write 4 pi r square, 4 pi r square plus 8 pi r dr. This is final surface area of the liquid drop minus initial surface area of the liquid drop, that is 4 pi r square. So therefore delta A is equal to, so 4 pi r square, this is 4 pi r square, this 4 pi r square cancel, so delta A is equal to 8 pi r dr, 8 pi r dr. So therefore now work done in increasing the surface, work done in increasing the area of the surface is given by, we already know work done is equal to surface tension into increase in surface area. So therefore W is equal to T into delta A is nothing but 8 pi r dr, 8 pi r dr. Call this as equation number 1. So since work done is equal to, this is work done we got by an external agent. So now due to the excess of pressure inside the liquid, inside the drop, the work is done by the pressure, that is the excess of pressure, due to the excess of pressure the work done in terms of excess pressure. So work done is equal to, so this work done can also be done as force into displacement, force into displacement, that force into displacement, so force is pressure into area, pressure into area, that is excess of pressure into area into displacement, and displacement is dr, displacement in the surface area, that is displacement is dr. So therefore I will write it as, so W is equal to, so delta P, that is excess of pressure, delta P into A, that is initial surface area. Initial surface area is 4 pi r square into dr. Call this equation number 2. Now compare equation 1 and 2. So now equating equation 1 and 2 from equation 1 and 2, from equation 1 and 2, that is T, that is delta P. First I will write this one only, delta P 4 pi r square into dr is equal to T into 8 pi r into dr. So now delta P is equal to, shall I remove this one? I will remove this one. So delta P is equal to, so now write this, all the things there. So dr cancel and pi will also cancel. So you will get 8 tr 8Tr divided by 4r square, 8Tr divided by 4r square, or delta P is equal to 8Tr, that is 2T divided by R. So this is the formula for excess of pressure. Excess of pressure for a liquid drop. Excess of pressure for a liquid drop. Understood? Excess of pressure for a liquid drop. Hope you understood. This is a curved surface. So therefore there will be a excess of pressure. Understood? So now you have to do homework. This is homework and you have to learn on your own. Excess of pressure for a soap bubble. Excess of pressure for a soap bubble. I will not do this one. Same way, consider a soap bubble of radius capital R having the surface tension of soap film as a T. And then the soap film, that is the soap bubble is increased by a radius. The radius of the soap bubble is increased by a small value dr. So therefore, initial radius of the bubble is capital R and final radius of the bubble is R plus dr. I am explaining where it will changes. Just much I will explain and you do on your own. Initial radius of the bubble is capital R, final radius of the bubble is R plus dr. So therefore, initial surface area of the soap bubble, initial surface area of the bubble is equal to 4 pi R square, same. And final surface area of the soap bubble is equal to 4 pi R plus dr square. So this will come out to be same. And now, increase in surface area of soap bubble, increase in surface area of soap bubble, or net increase in surface area. You write it as net increase in surface area of soap bubble is equal to delta A is equal to, instead of this you have to write it as 2 into delta A. Instead of delta A you have to write it as 2 into delta A. Why you have to write it as 2 into delta A? Because soap bubble has two surface areas. Soap bubble has two surface areas. So therefore net increase in surface area of the soap bubble, not liquid drop, soap bubble is equal to 2 into delta A. And 2 into delta A is increase in the surface area. That is, you will get this one only multiplied by 2. So this will comes out to be 16. And the remaining all the things are same. Then here the delta P is equal to 4T divided by R. So this will be the excess of pressure for a soap bubble. This is the expression for excess of pressure for a soap bubble and you have to do on your own. Understood? So you can do it on your own. I know our college students will do it very easily. So that's why I am leaving that one on you only. So excess of pressure for a soap bubble will come out to be delta P is equal to 4T divided by R. Understood? So this is the concept of excess of pressure. So now let us understand only the formula of excess of pressure for different cases. Excess of pressure in different cases. So now excess of pressure for a liquid drop. Just now we have studied excess of pressure for a liquid drop will come out to be delta P is equal to 2T divided by R. Okay. Excess of pressure for a soap bubble. Excess of pressure for a soap bubble will be comes out to be delta P is equal to 4T divided by R. Remember this. Excess of pressure for a soap bubble will comes out to be 4T divided by R. So now excess of pressure for a bubble, for a soap bubble inside the liquid. Soap bubble. Okay. This is soap bubble. Okay, this soap bubble is inside the liquid. Soap bubble inside liquid. Inside liquid. Then excess of pressure delta P is equal to same formula 4T divided by R. And now excess of pressure for a soap bubble inside the liquid at a depth h from the surface of the liquid. So this is soap bubble and this soap bubble is inside the liquid but it is at a depth. It is at a depth. This is soap bubble and it is at a depth h from the free surface. It is at a depth h from the free surface of the liquid. Then excess of pressure. Then excess of pressure is given by the same 4T divided by R plus rho gh. Rho is the density of the liquid, g is acceleration due to gravity, and h is the height of the liquid above the soap bubble. Height of the liquid above the soap bubble. Understood? Height of the liquid above the soap bubble. So for just for a liquid drop, the formula is 2T divided by R, and soap bubble 40 divided by R. Soap bubble inside the liquid, not at a depth, just inside the liquid, then the formula remains same, and soap bubble at a depth h below the free surface of the liquid, then excess of pressure is 40 divided by R plus rho gh, where rho is the density of the liquid and g is acceleration due to gravity, and h is the height of the liquid above the soap bubble. Height of the liquid above the soap bubble. Understood? Okay. I hope you understood all these concepts. So next class, in the next class, we will study the next concepts. Okay.